Thank you for joining us today for our LD5 Dems Bottoms Up podcast. I'm Marilyn Rendon, the chair of AZLD5 Democrats. Today, we're joined by Dorri Thyden, who is running for Arizona State Representative, District 5. For this podcast, we will ask the same 10 questions to every candidate. They include 5 campaign and election type questions, as well as 5 get-to-know-you questions. The goal is to give you a high-level snapshot of the candidate and their goals. The posting of this podcast will include ways you can reach out to the candidate or their campaign for more information. Let's get started. Dorri has more than 20 years working in government, politics, and the legal industry. She is a 4th generation to call Arizona home and grew up in Fountain Hills, went to Coronado High School in Scottsdale, and attended ASU in Tempe. Throughout the years, she has also spent time working in Washington, D.C., California, and Arizona, and has a broad spectrum of experience in the legal and policy arenas, including working for the Democratic Party and on numerous political campaigns to elect Democrats. Dorri's career focus has always been communications and included roles related to policy, regulation, and law. She is running for Arizona State House Representative for District 5 because she believes she can offer a fresh perspective and help bridge the gap between government and communities to be an effective leader, advocate, and legislator for LD5. In 5 words, explain why you're running for office.
To connect communities and government.
In your opinion, what is the greatest challenge facing people in LD5 in 2024 and in the coming years?
I think like other big cities, Phoenix and LD5, we run into some of the same challenges, such as high housing costs, rising homeless populations, underfunded public schools, access to quality healthcare, safe communities, neighborhoods. I really think the biggest challenge, though, is how we view these challenges and how we work together with our government resources and communities to find solutions. We really need to think about the root cause of some of these issues that we face and not just put a Band-Aid or a temporary fix on the problem. We all know Arizona has grown exponentially over the last few years. We really need to ensure our government agencies have the staff, the tools, the resources to effectively address these issues. We need effective policies, regulations. Our government agencies need to respond to not only the growing pains, but the broader challenges in a smart, enduring way.
If elected, what is the one thing you hope to achieve your first year in office?
We need to begin to bridge the gaps that currently exist. We need to listen, learn, seek opportunities to grow Arizona's economy and reduce barriers to success for Arizona's families. I'm not asking to go to the legislature to work on only one single issue. At the end of year 1, I really want to see Arizonans better off than they were the year before. And I hope others can see me as a pragmatic legislator willing to work with whomever wants to move Arizona forward.
What is your approach to building unity and navigating divisive political situations?
Listening. I think all too often we quickly jump to conclusions and make assumptions when trying to discuss topics or negotiate divisive situations. Policies can be complex, solutions can be hard. We really need to take a minute to understand the details and others' perspectives in order to come to the best possible outcomes.
What is the one thing you want people to know about your governing style?
I think my background working on campaigns and for the government has really instilled in me a bottoms-up approach to governing. You never really know what someone's needs or priorities are until you talk to them. I think listening to our residents, our businesses, is really key to building successful communities.
What is your favorite thing about Arizona?
I can say undoubtedly it's the people. Uh, I grew up here, my family's from here. That independent spirit of Arizonans is really like anything else. I also like the smell of the desert after it rains. Someone told me it's the creosote bush, which is interesting because it's toxic to humans and animals, as are a lot of things in the desert. But there really is nothing like the smell of the desert after a big rain.
Who has had the greatest influence on your political career?
I have a few for different reasons, but I would say fundamentally it's my grandparents. My grandpa was a World War II veteran. My grandma worked in the Aeroquip factory and served as a secretary for the local AFL-CIO. They instilled in me a sense of duty, and understanding that we all have a role to play in our communities if we want to ensure our families, our communities, and government thrive.
What is something that most people don't know about you, but should?
I'm a Jeep fanatic. Kind of runs in my family, all the way back to my grandfather who worked in the Jeep factory at the start of World War II. I've personally owned 7 Jeeps in my life. I've driven cross country 9 times, 7 in a Jeep Wrangler. I still have my first red Jeep Wrangler I bought in 1996. My dad keeps it at his house. He likes to tinker, modify it. It still runs great, and it's still my favorite Jeep.
How do you relax?
I paint to relax. I usually just turn on music. I light a fragrant candle. There's really nothing better than taking time to just focus and create something. For me, painting is more about feeling than thinking. So it kind of gives me a reprieve from the sometimes hectic days. There's a quote from Picasso I really like. It's art washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. For me, that's what painting does.
What is your favorite movie of all time?
Okay, this is where I might get controversial. I would have to say Grease 2, not Grease 1. To this day, my sister and I sing the songs, we laugh about our love of that movie. Obviously, it isn't a critically acclaimed cinematic piece of art, but there's something about it that really appealed to my sister and I when we were younger, and quite frankly, still does to this day. But I'd also put Xanadu with Olivia Newton-John, and Moulin Rouge on the list. And if you like the Beatles, Across the Universe is really great too. I guess I just really like lighthearted musicals.
Thank you very much for joining us today. We really appreciate having another high-quality Democratic candidate running for office.
All right, thanks for having me.